Hello, everyone. I guess some of you may be wondering why I'm here right now. Y'all got to excuse the beard. I didn't comb it. Let me comb it for some of y'all. I might say, man, what's wrong with preaching? Yep. Yeah, I want to just come on here and just talk a little bit, you know, because I need to talk right now. So it's a platform that God has given me. So we're gonna talk. We didn't have anything. Of course, a lot of you know we didn't have anything on Sunday because we were basically emotionally drained, and it's no doubt many of you may know or you are aware of what's going on with my father. It's no question right now that he is currently in the hospital, and he's been there a couple of days now. At least I think we're going into week 2 now. And yet we are definitely trusting God, as a lot of you may know. Um, um, oh God, let me see. It's getting ready to do something here. Okay, so I put on a little music for you. Yeah, it kind of helped me to think a little bit. Yes, my father went in the hospital. Oh, let's see what date was that. I think Friday before last. I think it was, and my father's up in age. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. So if you're on here watching just to be nosy to try to get some 411, I'm sorry, you're not going to get it here, okay? But nevertheless, though, I wanted to talk about my father because I even know now how important that he has been in my life. And I was trying to get the date when he went in there. Okay. Let's see what Mr. Calendar say. Yeah, he went in on the 6th. On the 6th. He's still there. And I could tell you that with my family and I, along with the matriarch of our family and my mother, he's in God's hand right now. He's resting. He's at peace. And, we're at peace with it as well. One of the things that I didn't know, when families go through this type of transition in life, that especially when something like this takes place with your parent, and especially, I guess you might could say it's probably more with more evident with I guess you would say, someone that you really have a strong relationship with. And I understand the physical side because technically, my family, we have been by my father's side ever since he's been there. I can guarantee you that there is not one time that you can go to that hospital and that there is not a family member there with him. Yes, there's someone with him even now, my oldest sister Elaine. So what we've been doing, we've been taking shifts. So we go out there and we sit with them, talk with them, talk to them, have conversations, and we just have fellowship. And we enjoy one another. Even in this present situation, we are enjoying one another. But the point that I wanted to get to, because, man, you understand the physical side, you know, but I really got a wake-up call when it comes down to the emotional side. And why emotional? Because that's your parent, that's your father, that's your mother. And, you know, it's troubling, it's emotional. It's the feelings that, you know, to see your parent in a situation where it's that they, you know, to a certain extent, they can't do much for themselves. And I could tell you that, no doubt, absolutely, excuse me, that there were times I look at my father and I wish I could take his place. I wish that I can take his place. And yeah. I remember the first night. I'm going to share this with you because, you know, I had an emotional moment, and the reason being, you know, when my father went there, you know, he was talking about, well, you know, him and my mother, they're up in age. They live literally right around the corner from me and my sister. You know, we all live right, let's say, within a block or two of each other. And I think that even that was God designed, because when they wanted to come back, we was looking at different places, you know, maybe even like getting a home to put them in a home, you know, purchase a home and put them in a home. But, you know, that didn't work out because the way that the climate, everything started changing. So, you know, my sister found a nice little 1-bedroom apartment, which was perfect for them. And so we moved them in there, and you know, ever since they've been there this past year, as a matter of fact, July this year would be a year they'd have been back in Miami. They moved to Carolina, then they moved over to Atlanta. Then mom called us and said, you know what, I'm ready to come home now. So that's what we did. So we went up there, pulled our resources together, went up there and brought them back home. And but you know, they in age, they're both in their 80 plus years. And you know, my mother, of course, being a woman of strength, there's some things that my father was no longer able to do. And so basically, you know, we did what we had to do, you know, especially between my sister and I, and I'm sure some other siblings and grandchildren. You know, we stepped in, and I could tell you that we made sure that our parents wanted for nothing. We didn't want them to worry about money. We didn't want them to worry about anything, not anything at all, not even the vehicle they was driving. And I love my family, my siblings, my nieces and nephews, those who have stepped up really to support them. I'm talking about prior to the current situation that we're encountering right now. And thank you, Miss White. Yes, God's peace is amazing. I see you, Miss Smith. We love you as well. Yes, it is very personal. Yeah, no one can totally understand because it's your parent, a personal bond. It's a special emotion. Absolutely. But nevertheless, getting back to what I was saying. So, you know, my father, I don't want to say he's a stubborn man, but he's a stubborn man. You know, and the thing about my father, I have seen this man, he don't hardly ask for anything. Whatever he needs, you know, between him and God, they find a way to make it happen. They just find a way to make it happen. And I can tell you, we as his children, we never wanted for anything. We may not then get what we wanted, but we definitely had what we needed, you know? And so this particular day coming up that week, my mother had been saying that my mother basically had become my father's caretaker, basically, you know, his chauffeur and everything, and, you know, making sure that, you know, his doctor's appointments and he take his medication, things like that. I'm telling you, man, she really showered this man with love. In spite of all my father did, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all his secret. All they did was eat, and watch westerns all day. That was it. And we joke with him. We say, "Pops, you went walking today?" Because my mother walks every day. At least about 4 miles a day. And at 80, I don't know. I think she's 83, 84 years old. She walks every morning. She walks every morning. And so she had become my father's basic caretaker. He got around. He tried to do little things, at the house, but I always have to at times come to his rescue. So anyway, short of the long, again, as I stated, my mother had become my father's caretaker, and so coming up to the 6th, my mother had shared with us that he had been complaining about his chest. But every time that, she's asking, did he want to go to the doctor? Of course, it's a man thing. We say no. And so I told my mother, I said, well, listen, next time he tell you no, you call me. We're going to make sure that we're going to get him to that doctor. And don't worry, y'all, cranberry juice. Okay. I'm not drinking, y'all, which I'm nothing hard. This is cranberry juice. Okay. But of course, my father, my mother, my parents, they went to church with us that Friday night. And so after service, we had noticed when we was leaving the church that he wasn't really, himself, and that he was walking, he'll take a couple of steps, then he'll take a deep breath, take some more steps. And, we finally got him in the car, got him home. And about half an hour later, my mother called me, said that he was complaining about his chest. So I called my sister. Now, this had to be about, maybe about 9:30, something like that. I called my sister Elaine. Now, why I call Elaine? Because whatever Elaine tells my father to do, my father he does it. She just has a way with him. I guess that's because she has his heart and he has her, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, she got him like this. So I had took some backup because I just kind of felt he was going to give me a little pushback. But anyway, I took him. We got him in the car. My mom went with him. I thought she wasn't going to go, but she went along. And so we got him to the hospital. And of course, they took him right in. And so the short and long, he ended up staying overnight. And they got him a room. And so this was Saturday morning. He was in the room. So my mother and I, we went back out there. Some family members came out there and spent time with him. So they basically, there was a procedure that he needed to do. And so the procedure was done on Monday. And things didn't go quite well with the procedure. But my father's strong. He's a fighter. Nevertheless, he fought his way through that. And hey, Mr. Gillum, God bless you, man. God bless you. Mr. Cross, yes. I totally understand, my brother. God has the last say. I believe that's what you wanted to say there. Sincerely praying for you guys. We're like family. Blessed to see you and the family. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, my mother is amazing, Miss Smith. Yes, she is. We appreciate your hearts, Purple Hearts, Miss Doe. Appreciate that. Love you as well. And so, now, one of the things my father always said, his thing was, he don't told everybody. So what I'm about to share with you, I'm sure you probably done heard it too, because his thing was, when it's ready for me to go, I just want to go. I don't want to be no burden on nobody. Y'all know the old school, how the old school gentlemen are. Don't bother with me. Hey, just let me go. Hey, God bless Mr. Gillum. We're standing in agreement with the family. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, that just was him. He didn't want to be no burden on our mother. He didn't want to be no burden on the family. We just could have put him in a pine box and say a prayer and that's it. Let him go. He'd have been fine. He'd have been so happy because his thing was, you know what? One day I'm going to see Jesus. One day I'm going to see Jesus. He tells us all the time, you know what? I'm ready. I am ready. Jesus, God can come right now and get me. I'm ready to go. That's just how he lived. That was how he lived his life. And so anyway, he went through the procedure, had some issues. So they had to go back and they had to do it all over again, the procedure all over again. It was pertaining to his heart. But I could tell you right now, you all, if you all were, I'm just kind of skeptical about how much detailed information I really want to share here. But I can tell you right now, my father was living on faith. I would say, at least for the past 2 years, my father was living on nothing but pure faith. And his faith in God, his faith in the word of God, that God was going to keep him, God was going to take care of him. Because I can say this much, the condition of his heart, based on the condition of his heart and based on what the doctor, I'm talking about absolute described, drawn out and showed me, my father should have been transitioned, should have been left here. Absolutely. This man, the family, we done named him the general. He was living on straight faith. It was only God that we even had him, or still have him. We still have him. He's still alive, y'all. Because I ain't trying to put him in the grave now, because I know God can still raise him. I know God can still raise my father up. I know we can have, if it's God's will, we can have that Lazarus moment. We can have that Lazarus spirit. If it's God's will, we can have Peter's mother-in-law spirit too. If it's God's will, we can have the infant child spirit as well. We can have that experience. It is up to God. It's up to my father. One thing about it, I can tell you right now, the man is a fighter. He is a fighter. Again, I'm being very, very selective about how much information. But I listen to you all. Listen, let me tell y'all something. What we do when we get around my father, there's some emotional moments. But man, we just talk about the memories. And what I've come to, what we all have noticed, the impact of the lives that he has touched over the years, the course of his life. I'm telling you, there are people even just today drove from Georgia just to see him and turn around and go back. We had family members doing this stuff. People who have adopted us as a family doing this, coming to see him from out of town just to go back home. He has lived that type of life. Listen, let me tell you, this man, his legacy will live on. It will live on. But getting to my moment, well, if the Lord still want me to say, but yeah, because this might help somebody. And so, by Wednesday of that week, I think last week, I think it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday of that week. Yes, Miss White, a miracle in the house. Absolutely. Yes, he is. Hello, Miss Davis. How you doing? Yes, he is a mighty God. Yes. Things had I want to say it. It became a challenge. His health became a challenge. So y'all may have seen me when I did the Facebook Live that Tuesday, and I got a phone call from the hospital that they had needed me to come back out there because my father was having he was having this moment. And because one of the things, like I said, he never wanted to be hooked up to all the machines and all that kind of stuff. He didn't want that. That's not what he wanted for himself. as again, when it was time for him to go, he just wanted God to take him. But, so when I went back out there, I was out there all night. I did not even sleep. I was up with him all night, and probably until about 11 a.m. the next day. So I really hadn't had any sleep. And but that was Daddy. That was Dad. That was Pops. Whatever I had needed to do to comfort him in that moment, I was all in on it. And not only me, but so from then on, my brothers, they went out there, they stayed with them overnight, nephews, my sisters. We just all took a time just to support him and support my mother, and we had some when it comes down to our mother, we had some procedures in play that we just was not going to expose her to certain things because we wanted to. That's her husband. She's been married to this man for, June would have been 66 years with one man. She was 18 years old and she's been with this man since 18 years old, right? I wish I had a picture I could show you what my mom looked like when she was 18. Knockout. And impossible. He knew what he was doing. Yeah. So anyway, so that's where we at right now. But because out of respect for our father, there were certain things that he had told us that he wanted, and as a family, we respected that. And what we find out is that the staff at the hospital, they were very amazed at how we were handling everything as a family, and they really commended us that we would respect our father's wishes. They really loved him. They fell in love with him. You know what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what. I'm going to say this much. So my father, he was in and out of his moments. So we always talking. We were talking to him, and we just talking to him, letting him know we was there for him, keeping his spirits up and what have you. So I was standing over the bed. I said, "Hey, Pops, sing me a song, man." He just, with his eyes closed, he laying there. He just busts out with the song, "Dear Lord, I appreciate you." And he just started singing it. And my sisters was there. They jumped in. So they had a little church there. So then my sister called some of the other family members, and they went out and they had a little they had another church meeting, prayer meeting, whatever you want to call it. And Pops was, I'm telling you, listen, hello there. Hey, Anna, how you doing? That's my cousin. God bless you. Hey, Miss Hodges, I see you. That's a beautiful. This lady here, Miss Hodges, is a woman who has a beautiful heart, and that's my sister there. Yeah, that's my sister. She might be my blood sister. Yeah. So I mean, listen, before his health really went south, and this man had church Friday night. He had church laying right there in that bed, some paralysis had set in, and he had church. He fellowshiped with his family and what have you. And I think that's all he needed. That's all he needed. It was an interesting thing even before this state where we at right now. And like I stated before, I told you I had really been, all of us really had really been up on our game as far as taking care of our parents. And so about 2-3 weeks ago, my father said to me, he says, I was over to the house and I was doing something. And he said to me, he said, "Well, you see, at least I know now that your mother would be taken care of." And it ain't dawned on me at first, but then when I thought about it, I think I was getting ready to walk out, out the house, leave the house, and then I thought about it. I went back in. I said, "Well, Pops, what else would you expect us to do, man? Hey, we're gonna take care of Mom. You know? It's like we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna take care of Mom. Don't worry about Mom." And I think he needed to know that his wife, the love of his life for the past 66, going on 66 years, was going to be taken care of, was going to be provided for. And I did not have any idea that, let me say I wasn't even ready for it, that it would come this way. Even when I look at him now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be very candid with you. You all know it here on the Father's Note. We don't hold nothing back. We don't hold nothing back. I believe in being real about it. And so, this morning I had a moment because I was just reflecting back, and I questioned myself, and I said to myself, I said, man, I don't know if I used the words that I hate the fact that I took him to the hospital, but I was starting to have regrets for taking him. But I didn't want my mother to worry, and I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing. At least that's what, we can have hindsight about it, but I did what I think any caring and loving child, parent or person would do. So I had to really battle through that, man. But man, I love Pops, man. I love my father. And, it's interesting that one of the things that I had begun to realize was that even though our relationship had challenges for, y'all heard me say it on the show, for 30 years or so. But even in the midst of that time, God showed me, and this came to me today, that even if through that time, through my father, God was using him, or let me say it this way, I still would not be the man that I am today if it was not for my father. Yeah. A lot of times, let me take a drink, y'all. My father was a protector. My father was a provider. My father, he was a mentor. My father was there. And one of the things that I've learned, and maybe this might help some of you, don't fault your parents because of their parenting skills a lot of times, because sometimes they're giving you the best of what they have. So, I've come to appreciate that with my father. He gave all, some of you all that's watching this video, he gave you his best that he had. Even you, not only just his children. I'm telling you, he touched so many lives. It was interesting. My son-in-law, as y'all ladies like to say, okay. He called me this morning, and I found it interesting. He said something to me very interesting. He says that Bishop is the only grandfather that I know. He's the only grandfather that I know. He said, and he taught me so much. I learned so much from him. I'm like, wow. I was really amazed by that. Let me play. Y'all know I've been doing this The Father's Note show for let me put you up, Miss Davis. Amen. He really did. Oh yeah. So true. Yes, he did. A true man of God. Yep. That's one thing I love about my father. You didn't have to like him, and he didn't care whether you agreed with him or not. He was going to give you the truth. He's going to give you the truth whether you wanted to hear it or not. You didn't like him because what I love about it was no compromising with this man. He was going, hey, listen, man, this is what the Bible says. If you got any beef, then you have beef with what the Word of God says. But I'm going to stand on the Word of God. And you know, even in the hospital, because he did end up into ICU, and one of the doctors there that was tending to him, he said that when he came in to see my father and he got ready to go, my father was getting ready to give him a text, to give him a message. So he told my father, he said, well, hold on now, just hold that message there till I come back. And so when the doctor came back, of course, my father, you know, he wasn't able to communicate at the time. But he said, man, I guess I missed out on the message. And when people go, and when the people come and go, the nurses, whatever, when they come in, they say, okay, well, I got to go now. And he'll tell them, well, take the Lord with you wherever you go. I mean, this man, listen, he had us laughing in that ICU. He was so funny, man. And then he's laying there with his eyes closed. You know, we talking to him. You know, he's responding. And every now and then he say something slick out his mouth. You know, hey, that's Pop. That's what Pop's was doing. You know, but listen, we have my family, the Nelson family, and let me tell you something. We have no regrets for whatever God chooses to do. Because if I only get to experience these 62 years of my life with my father, and I'm good. I am good. I'm happy. You know? Because, you know, my family and I, we made a decision. Listen, we can have the doctors do all the stuff that they feel they need to do, this, that, there, another. But who are we doing it for? Are we doing it for us because we're selfish? We don't want him to go. We don't want to lose him. Or are we going to respect his wishes? And we chose to respect his wishes because he deserved it. He deserved it. And so our whole thing was, you know what? You know, God, listen, Dad, you leave here when you get ready. Whenever you're ready to transition, it's on you. But now, don't get me wrong now. I still believe that if God wanted to give him extend his life, just like he did with Hezekiah, he could do it for my father. And we okay with that. My mother is okay with that. He's okay with that. Yes, he will encourage you. And that's what he's doing. That's what he is. That is exactly what he has done. No, man, listen, I'm not going to tell you that I don't have any emotional connections with this, because I'd be lying to y'all. I would be lying if I haven't had to fight back tears. You know, I would be lying. You know, I was after you transferred them from ICU into a private room. And I'm not saying these things to be boasting or bragging. I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. Because really, I give all the credit to my entire family, to my sisters, to my brothers, and we all stepped up. Every last one of us. There's no bickering. There's no fighting about this, about that. Because one of the things that we were as a family is that, especially for me, we were always proactive because we know these days would come. So it wasn't that we did not prepare ourselves. You know, you got to handle your business. You got to do those things that are going to be very beneficial. Excuse me. You know, you just be proactive, especially if you have elderly parents. Okay, Yes, we want them to live long life and, till they are 100 years old, so forth. But the day is going to come that, their life, their expiration date is going to come. So you got to be proactive about making sure you have things in place that can make whatever transition takes place, make it more smoother, make it more easier. And my mother was on her A game. And, my older sister, Elaine, and we were right there supporting. Listen, you can't be afraid to ask the tough questions. You got to ask the tough questions. You got to have the conversations. You got to, as I refer to them, you got to have the what ifs. You have to have the what ifs. Okay, so if this happens, what is going to be our plan? Okay, well, we got plan A, plan B, plan C. Gotta be proactive about it. Okay, but I commend my family, man. I love them. I really love them. My nephews, they stepping up. But once we had got him into ICU, once he came out of ICU, and we got him in a private room, and so Sunday morning I got dressed for church real early, and I went out there because I'm going to say this here because I'm not boasting, but I'm going to say this here because this is especially your sons out there. You got to be on your game. I know I saw Brother Andre on here. I know he's one of them, him and his brothers. I know they definitely be on their game when it come down to Pops. But, I'm like, after Pops had been there for a while, he started looking, growing, the beard started growing out and whatever. So I'm like, man, I'm going to fix my Pops up, man. You can't have people come here looking at Pops and Pops looking rough. No, and struggling. So I went there and, shaved up my Pops, cleaned his beard up, gave him a nice little line. When my sister Roz was there, she had stayed with him overnight. So we just, combed his hair. She brushed his teeth and whatever. We wiped them off. Because we wanted to honor him, and we wanted to, like I told my family, I said, you know what, man, listen, we gotta protect our father's dignity. We gotta protect his manhood. And I made a joke. I said, hey, Pops, I'm gonna get you right for your wife, because your wife, your baby girl, she coming up in here, so she gotta see you. When she come to see you, you gotta be right, So he does something like that, But so anyway, not knowing my sister Roz was taking pictures. And so I'm at church, and I'm doing my thing and playing the bass at church, doing praise and worship. And so I had my phone where I can watch it just in case something come up, something. So because I wanted to always make sure that I stayed connected to what was going on at the hospital. So anyway, a chat came across my phone, and so I'm playing. So I hit the phone, and when I hit the phone, a picture came up. My sister had sent out a picture of me, trimming up my father, grooming my father. I said, you messed me up, sis. You messed me up. I had a moment. And I'm being transparent, y'all. I'm being so transparent. I wanted to get up and go. That's just how hard it hit me. And then the thing is, was this what really was the icing on the cake for me? It was because the instrument that I was playing was an instrument that my father introduced me to at the age of 9 years old. And I started having these memories of that particular day. That day always would remain in my mind because here it is, I'm doing a gift. I'm exercising a gift, playing the bass that my father started me on, that he introduced me to. And I'm telling him, 9 years old. We lived in some apartments and we was playing Sandlot football. And for some reason, I saw my father come home from work, and he was going up the stairs to our apartment with this white bass, this white guitar. I didn't know it was a bass or either, but he was going upstairs with this white guitar. So when I saw it, it caught my attention, and I ran up the stairs behind him. And I can tell you, my friends in the neighborhood, they didn't see me for 2 days. I didn't even bother about coming out the house because he sat me down. Son, this is for you. And he showed me one line. Dun, 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 dun. That was it. And it was all over. Because when he came home the next day, I had to reverse that thing. Dun, 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 dun. And my very first song that I learned was the song Solid Rock by the Fantastic Violinaires. Now, we're talking about in I think this is about the late 60s, 69, somewhere along there. But I'm at church Sunday. And these thoughts are going through my mind that I'm playing an instrument that this same man introduced me to, that he taught me. I had an emotional moment. Yeah. I had an emotional moment. My wife, when we got in the car, she said, "Did I see tears?" I told her, "Babe, I ain't gonna even lie. Yeah, you saw tears, man." So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Wow. My sister says, she said, "Wow. And Sunday I played drums at my church, something Dad taught me." Yeah. You know, when you look at it, my whole family, my sister was making fun at me today because I had wrote the song. I wrote a song for my father. So they talk about, how's it that you're the only one in the family that can't sing? I'm like, oh, you had to go there with me? I said, because I got everything else. Yeah, that's true. I'm the only one. I told her, I made a joke. I said, hey, y'all didn't see that bucket I was carrying? That's just that joke anyway. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Well, our family is so talented. Nephews, all of our nieces can sing. Brother Kid said I started plugging the bass even harder. Yeah, man. Yeah. I had to go in, man. I had to represent. And then the thing of it is, I'm doing something that I saw my father do for the Lord. And I'm doing it for the Lord as well. Yeah. It was a great mirror. Hey, but you know what? I want to play something here. You know, as I was about to say, then we're gonna get off of here. I've been doing a Father's Note for 2 years now. And I'll show every man in the house got a drinking cup. If you got a drinking cup, put a thumbs up in the chat for me. Let me see if you got a drinking cup. I'm talking to the brothers now. This is my drinking cup. This came from my daughter. She gave this to me. My baby girl. She gave this mug to me, so I've been riding with it for a long time. It's about the only thing in the house I drink out of. Yeah. Give me a thumbs up if you got your drinking cup. Yep. See, you got to get them large. That way you ain't got to make several trips to the refrigerator, you know. Just get a big cup, you know. Yep. Here they come. 2 thumbs up. Mr. Scott. Yes, sir. Yeah, this cranberry juice, Miss Davis. It's cranberry juice. Yeah, that's cranberry. That's the only thing I drink around here. Cranberry juice and water. I drink water, y'all. Okay, I do drink water. But ask me what my first choice is. My wife better not say nothing. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thumbs up to the large mugs, y'all. To the large drinking cups. Yes, sir. So anyway, listen. I've been doing the Father's Note for 2 years now, and I'm going to tell you what was one of my greatest moment, and that was having my father on the show. Yeah. And so before I close out, what I want to do, I want to play a couple of clips from the show that I had my father on. And yeah, I want to do that for you. So let me just bear with me a little bit. Let's just look at this here, okay? All right.
Hi, and welcome to A Father's Note. It is amazing when a son is able to sit down and have conversation with his father. And in this video, that is what we do. My father and I will discuss his relationship with his father, as well as our relationship growing up through the years. He shares a lot of great wisdom that I hope will bless you just as much as it blessed me. It would inspire you to have that relationship, that conversation with your father. We hope that you enjoy. Lionel Nelson here, and welcome to A Father's Note, promoting fathers through building men. It's so important that we always stand up for our fathers. We want you to know we're with you. We're standing behind you 110%. Hey, but you know, we've been doing this this show for a little while here, and I'm certainly just grateful to God for the opportunity. And as we stated, many of you know, many of our viewers know that we do it to promote fathers. And for so many times that during so many of our broadcasts, I'm sure you have heard me talk about my father and things that I've learned from him and things that we as father and son that we have went through and experienced. But I tell you, this is a blessing just to have him sitting right next to me here on tonight. But let's get into the questions. Are you ready for it, Pops?
As far as I know.
Okay, so listen, since we promote fathers here, and we like to just acknowledge a lot of our fathers, knowledge and reason being because, you know, we all go through so many things, we have different experiences, but they're yet all the same. Yeah. So, and of course, you had a father, you grew up with your father. Can you describe to us or to the audience what your father, the type of father you had in one word?
My type of father, he did not play no radio.
You didn't play the radio, Dad?
No.
No?
it was what he said was.
Whatever you say, it went, huh?
It went.
I think that's kind of how you got that from, huh?
Yes, sir.
You know, he was serious there. Grandpops didn't play, y'all. I was telling the family about an incident about my grandpa. I'm gonna get back to that, but let me tell this story. When he said that my grandfather, he didn't play the radio. And you know, when we were young, we would go up, you know, when school was out, you know, we would go up to Carolina. My parents would take us up to Carolina for the summer. And so this one particular day, I had to be about 9, 10 years old, somewhere along there. And so I'm sitting on the porch. We dressed for church. You know, we getting ready this Sunday. We getting ready to go to church. And Grandpa, he was in the room, and he was shining his shoes, whatever. So I'm outside sitting on the porch, and I got my legs dangling off the porch. And I while I'm sitting there waiting, I happen to look up. You know, okay, now listen, y'all got to understand this was in the country. So where I was at, I was right up underneath the tree. And when I looked up, I saw a snake hanging down, dangling from the tree right above my head. So I jumped up, running in the house. Granddaddy, there's a snake. So Grandpa's, he put down his shoes and polished and brushed his stuff. And he got up and reached, as he was heading out the door, he used to keep a 410 out over the head of the door. So he grabbed the rifle, went outside, shot the snake, came back, put the rifle back up over the door, and sat down and went to finish polishing his shoes. So I never came inside. So I'm still sitting outside looking at the snake, his head shot off. So I hear Grandpa say, "Hey, Lionel?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Come here." So I walked in there. Excuse me, I went in there. So he's sitting in his chair, polishing his shoes. Now, one thing about my grandfather, he was a soft-spoken man. And as I'm entering, now he never looked at me. He says to me, he said, boy, don't you ever come in my house with all that yelling and screaming again. He still polished his shoes. And I got the message, y'all, because I wasn't going to do that. So next time that I saw a snake, I went in there. He was sitting in there. I went in there and taking my time. Granddaddy, I just saw another snake. I was so quiet. I ain't tell a joke right now. But anyway, that was hilarious to me because Grandpa didn't play. Then that's what it means. He didn't play the radio. Whatever Pop said, whatever Grandpa said, that was it, man. He didn't. I'm sure my sister could talk. She talking about, yeah, he was very soft spoken, but he was firm. It was funny. Okay, let's get.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. Give us an example, if you can, of one of those times what would be your memorable moment with your dad?
One of my memorable moments with my dad when I didn't do what he said when he loosed the belt on me.
Okay.
And now, if I may say, just need to come back to help some of these young men get in place where they need to go.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with you, Pops, on that. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
So what was your relationship like growing up with him, though?
Well, it was real good.
Okay.
And we was on the farm. And we had our chores to do. As we say, you either do your chores or you get laced if you didn't. And I did not like to be laced.
Yeah. I'm sitting here while you're talking, and I'm thinking about some of the memorable moments when I got laced by Grandpa. Yeah, it wasn't too good, y'all.
Yeah.
So anyway, being the eldest of 6 children, did your parents place a special accountability on you for the rest of them, or were all the siblings accountable for themselves?
That's right. Father or mother left what we were supposed to do in our chores, and we need to do it. We should do it.
Right.
And we had to kind of like coach them into it, even though sometimes they didn't do it. But I'm glad I didn't get the lacing for it. They the one got the lacing.
So did you at times, would you have did the work for them just to make sure they didn't get laced? I like that word, y'all. We got a new word, y'all. Lace.
I do it, but I remember a time. One of the things, if I could say, we had to walk to school.
Right.
And looked like Father knew what time we were supposed to be there.
Right.
By no watch or whatever. And there was one evening my dad was walking up, and we know that up the corn row. You know what the corn is,
right.
Corn was higher than we were, and Dad was in the cornfield. And my sister used to love to drag along the road and play around along the road. And I told Daddy. Daddy said, that's all right, I got it.
Oh, Lord.
And I told my sister, I said, listen, we better come on, Daddy gonna get us.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Daddy stepped out that corn row, and I used that, what he call a belt. He used that belt, and I tell you, he had a thing going on. Me and all of my brothers, my sister beat us home that particular day. And I tell you, from then on, we had no problem with sister.
She had a little persuasion,
The persuasion helped me also to stay out of the way in case I got a little careless.
Oh my God, man. Listen, even this man, even in his state of infirmity, he had us laughing in that hospital, man. He had us laughing. It was this guy here, man. He's my superstar. He's definitely my superstar. Hey, we're gonna get off here. I just had to come on here and talk a little bit. Yeah. I know it's a bit unusual, but I had to come talk. And I wanted to talk to all of you all. I definitely miss you all. Yeah, Daddy definitely was a great man, Miss Smith. He definitely was. Appreciate you, Donald. Appreciate you. Appreciate the prayers. Appreciate the love. Thank you all so much. That's where I get that snitching from. You know what, sister? Hey, I love all of you. Thank you so much for your prayers. Miss Smith, Mr. Douglas. Hey, sis, I love you too. Miss Hodges, God bless you. That's my cousin. Miss Lawson, God bless you. Thank you so much. Mr. Jenkins, appreciate you. We love you as well. Let's see who else was on here. Miss Day, tell Mr. Jenkins thank you so much. Appreciate it. Mr. Allen, yeah, I saw a lot of thumbs up on that one. Let's see who else. Mr. Ken, yes, sir. God bless you, man. Listen, I love you all. Appreciate you all. You know, we're, thank you, Miss Cox. Appreciate your prayers. We're definitely praying that God's will be done, you know. And I think what I'm saying to y'all, I think I say that for my entire family, the Nelson family, even those of you who are adopted. Man, my parents got a lot of adopted children. Some of y'all, I don't even know your name. You got so many. Stay. You did all the writing of y'all songs, and you can't sing. Didn't know that. Nope, can't sing. And I sing it all. I can sing. I just need help. Let me give myself a whole mic drop. There you go. Yeah, hey, it's been smooth, man. Yeah. So we're gonna get off of here. Thank you again, Ms. Davis. Love and prayers to the family. Yes. All right. Hey, much love to all of you all, and we certainly appreciate you. We certainly appreciate your support for our family. And hey, we'll see you later on. God bless.
Lionel Nelson here, and welcome to A Father's Note, promoting fathers through building men. It's so important that we always stand up for our fathers. We want you to know we're with you. We're standing behind you 110%.